Okay, so this is the third time I'm trying this. Apparently my phone doesn't have enough storage to record a video, so I'm now trying it on the laptop. I promised a few friends to record some videos for them because of various issues. I'm a yoga teacher, yoga therapist, and I focused mainly on physical and mental recovery. So today I'm gonna record a video for a friend of mine who is suffering from some issues with his lower back and the groin area and trapped nerves. So we're going to create some space in the lower back and create some space in the groin area. So we're gonna start by sitting down. You can stand up or sit down. It's really your preference. Within the body there is a web called fascia, and that's basically connecting the head with the toes. So if you are, for example, you have a tension in your neck, the fascia will build up and become really thick, which will make it very stiff and potentially painful to move. So we always need to work through different parts of the body, not just the areas where we are suffering from some kind of pain or discomfort. We can sit down. Really, it's as I say, it's up to you. If you find it difficult to sit down, you can stand up, and we can always find variations. But in the first part, it doesn't really matter if you're sitting down or you're standing up, because we're gonna work through the head. So just make sure either you stand tall or you sit tall. So elongate your spine. Think about really stretching up to the ceiling. And we're going to start by just looking over our shoulder. And breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. And that's kind of the breathing we're going to have throughout this very short sequence to make sure the body is getting enough oxygen, and the muscles, of course. So I'm aiming for this sequence to be about 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes. So it's possible to do several times a day when you're feeling that you're struggling, or even at night if you feel that you have some discomfort. So we're gonna come to the center. We're gonna look down and look up without cranking the neck, and just make sure you're relaxing your shoulders when you do this. You can probably hear my breath. It's a bit like the ocean. It's called Ujjayi breath, so it's kind of creating like a tension while you breathe, pushing the air out. And you're breathing mostly in the chest area. So you can place your hands in your chest to make sure that you're expanding your lungs rather than the air going in here. Because as we move, we're going to be twisting and turning, and we have to make sure that we always get enough oxygen. That's why we're breathing up here in yoga. So we're going to look over our shoulder again, and we're going to come down with the chin towards the chest. And down again. And this is just to release any tension we may have in the neck. and hands on the shoulders. So we're just going to move from side to side, starting with a bit of a twisting motion. And you can do this as you're standing up as well. And we're going to roll the shoulders and try to make the elbows meet. And then the other way. And try to make big circular motions. And we're going to do some side stretches. So we're going to place the left hand down and we're going to come over with the right. Then we're going to twist and look towards the hand. Look to the side and come up. So we're just softening the body up and just preparing it. So to keep moving sideways, look towards the hand, sideways, and just keep moving. We're creating that lanes in the side of the body. But it's all about what feels good for you. So there's no right or wrong in yoga, really. It just depends on your own physiology, what feels right for you. And you shouldn't be in pain. Discomfort is kind of something we get used to in yoga, but pain is not something that is your body telling you that something is not quite right. Okay, from here we're going to move on. Move to your hands and ends. So make sure you spread your fingers. And we're just going to carve the spine up towards the ceiling. And open the chest while you're pushing the spine towards the mat. And use your breath as you do that. So it's breathe in as you open your chest. And you push your air out as you carry the spine towards the ceiling. You can twist your hips and look over your shoulder. So your shoulder and your hip is meeting each other. Just to try to create some more flexibility. And also it's for you to kind of start to recognize where there is tension. But this is, at the end of the day, this is all about your body. Okay. Stretch out the arms in front of us and just come down. Resting your stomach on your thighs. Gonna move the hands a little bit closer again. I'm gonna push up and come into downward facing dog. And you might find that you're unable to put your heels down, but that's absolutely fine. This is all about creating that kind of You don't want your back to be round. You want to try to keep a straight back. So if it helps you to keep your heels up, then please do. And then try to, if you feel really stiff in this position, which many people do if they're not used to doing yoga, it's a good idea to just try to walk your feet from side to side, just to stretch out this part of the body. So this way we're kind of creating a tilt in the pelvis. So we work in the pelvic region. And when you start to feel more comfortable, make sure again that you're spreading your fingers, creating a stable base on the mat, and moving your chest towards your thighs. And again, remember to breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. To bring oxygen to every part of the body. And from here we're going to lift our right leg up, and we're just going to start to move it towards our face. This is also to make sure that we keep warm, so we do some vigorous motions. And of course this is strengthening the stomach muscles. And as you come up next with your leg, place your foot in between your hands and put the back knee down and come up. Now here's this very nice stretch for the groin area. See if you can lift your arms up and lean forwards. And I'm sorry for turning away from you, but we'll do this on the other side. So if you place your left knee down, about a hand distance away from your foot, raise your back knee, and we're going to do a twist. So we're going to raise the right hand up and keep pushing that back heel away. And push the right hip away from you as well. And place the right hand next to your right foot, and we're gonna pivot the back foot and place it down, so create a stable base. So we're gonna use the right hand and the right foot as our base this time, and we're gonna reach up towards the ceiling. Now we're going to place the hands down and try to lift your toes towards you. And again, think about really pushing the right hip back away from you. Place the hands down on the either side of your foot and move your foot back. And we're going to push back into downward facing dog again. And then if any time that you feel you're tired or you're aching, you can always come back into child's pose. I'm going to lift the left foot up, and I'm going to move it towards our face, or try to really lift your knee up. And place the foot in between your hands, back, knee down, and come up, stretch your arms out towards the ceiling. If you feel comfortable, you can take a slight back bend. And you kind of lean forwards. And stretch your arms towards the ceiling. So really nice, strong arms. And we're going to place the right hand down. Lift the back knee up. And we're going to do a twist. And again, think about moving this hip away from you towards the back of the room. And place the left hand just next to your left foot. Move your back foot in to create a stable base. And lift your right hand up towards the ceiling. Place your hands on either side of your foot and push it back. Your toes pointing towards your head. And as you place it down, move back again into downward facing dog. So we're going to open the hips a bit more. I'll start on the left side so you're able to see. So we're going to start by just moving the leg up. If you think about, if you want to start with a closed hip first, just so you can feel the difference between having a closed hip, where you kind of square up your pelvis. And now we're going to open the hip. So we're going to start with a straight leg. So this is a closed hip and this is an open hip. So you may notice now that you're not very open in this area. And that's something maybe you want to work on. Or maybe you'll notice that you're absolutely fine. And if you bend that knee, see if you can see the foot in between your armpit. If you look under your armpit, can you see your foot? It's fine if you don't. After all, this is just about well-being and not about achieving anything in particular. You can put your foot down, come down. Just going to stretch out the arms in front of us. And we're gonna come back to the other side soon. But from here we're just going to work a little bit on the lower back in between. So we're going to move here into a slight back bend. The striking cobra. So it's from downward from a child's pose. If you put your heels down as well. If you feel comfortable, because if you have any knee problems, this is not going to be good for you, and you might not be able to be in this position. And I guess that's the problem now when my student isn't actually in the same room. So it's always going to be difficult to adjust or come with different variations. But if this is comfortable for you, you can go between the child's pose and the striking cobra. But be very careful if you have any back problems. So it's just moving really, really gently, very, very gently and slowly. So you have time yourself to notice how things feel for you. And again, remember to breathe. Okay, let's push back into downward facing dog. And we're going to lift up the right foot. Going to do the closed hip first. Let the roof up over to my right. Closed hip. Just so you you get the feeling in your body, what it's like. As I know that many people do struggle to open their hips. So this is a closed hip. And move to an open hip. And it's not what it looks like, it's what it feels like. And bend your knee. And if you want, if you can't, be bothered, see if you can look and see your foot under your armpit. And now we're going to come down on our back. Because this is a short session, this is not, we've done it quite slowly today. But as you kind of progress in your practice, you will be able to do it quicker. And then of course it's not going to take as long. We can just start sitting in a diamond shape, which means that your feet are a little bit away from you. And we just move a little bit in circular motions. Now we can move forward and move back. And just do this very slowly. And make sure it feels alright for you. Just create some space. Smoothing the spine. And you'll probably be able to feel it at the back of your legs as well as you move forward. Stretch your legs out, point your toes. We're just going to move forward and try to kind of push your feet towards you, if that makes sense. Pushing your hips away from you. And moving forward rather than rolling. If your stance is like that, you better just try to stay in this position. Or better yet, if you are really struggling to reach your feet and come forward, you might want to take a strap and put it under your feet and come onto your back instead. And you can raise your legs and try to reach them that way, so you can have a strap and hold them. So. you can look at your toes. Probably don't see them very often. And then we're going to place the right foot on the left knee. And we're going to take our hands and place them on the back of the left knee. I'm going to push the foot towards us, the knee towards us. So that is quite a stretch in your hip, maybe in your buttocks, depending where you are tight. And with the side. You probably will notice that one side is more tense than the other, and that's usually how we are. We're not that even, and I think exercising like yoga is really helping to kind of create more of a balance on the left and the right side. As we notice these things, we can do something about it. And see if you can grab hold of your feet and push your knees kind of towards your armpits or towards the floor. And try, if you can, try to keep your bum on the floor. If it lifts up, it doesn't really matter. But it's all about just trying to keep a straight spine rather than carrying the spine too much. Just trying to keep your back on the floor. Because a lot of the time we have so much tension in our back that the vertebrae can't really fall into place. So we're gonna do some exercise now on the floor to really get that motion that can really help to kind of, you might hear some clicking sounds as your kind of back moves into place. So we're going to start by just laying down. Actually, before we start, we're just going to tip the pelvis a little bit. So we're going to tip it towards us and back. And towards us and back. Again, we're just trying to create some flexibility and some movements in our body. And remember to breathe. And from here, we're going to move the feet just a little bit away from our bum, and then we're going to just move them from side to side. Just gently, see how you feel in your back and in the rest of your body. You can keep the arms out to the side. And you can stretch the legs out, and now we're going to move one foot to the side. And I can hear my back is popping into place. But do this carefully and see how it feels for you. And I should give credit to my yoga teacher, Mark West, who's introduced this movement, and I think it's absolutely amazing. And now, depending if you want to take some time to relax, a few minutes just to let your body rest, let your nervous system settle down. You can take a few minutes on the mat and just relax. Really let go, feel how heavy your body is on the mat. And feel every part of your body that is touching the floor, and how the floor is supporting you. And as you breathe, you can feel that everything that has been on your mind, that you can let it go as you breathe out, and just relax further onto the mat. And give great praise to your body for everything it does for you every single day of your life. It might not work perfectly at this moment in time, but it can work perfectly again. And you can heal yourself. And as this is a very short practice, we'll start to listen to the sound around us, to our own breath, to the sound within the room. Perhaps you can hear sounds outside of the room. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And pull your knees towards you, and in your own time you can come to the side. And push yourself up to sit. Actually, I can see that this video is about 35 minutes long. But if you want to do whatever feels right for you and cut it down and use the most important parts for you, you can. You can do it in the morning and in the evening. I would recommend it for you to do it at least once a day, rather than just do a longer session once a week. Namaste.